Good evening and welcome to Stupid O'Clock News. I'm Lewis Lee. Dateline, Dallas, Texas. An unopened 1987 copy of The Legend of Zelda video game created for the Nintendo gaming console has sold at auction for $870,000. According to the Heritage Auction House in Dallas, the game was from a limited run in late 1987. In April, the same auction house sold an unopened copy of Super Mario Brothers that was originally bought in 1986 and forgotten in a desk drawer. That game brought $660,000 at auction. When asked about the buyers, the auction house manager could only say, "It's amazing how much money you can save by living in your mother's basement." That's the news. Let's start the show.
Okay, Lewis. Good one. All right, let's go ahead and bring our regular crew in. There's John.
I live in my mother's attic, okay? Just
Ooh, hit a little close to home there, huh?
Yeah. And there's Skunk. Hey, Skunk, how you doing?
that good, huh?
And there's Dan. Hey, Dan.
Hey, how you doing, folks?
And one of our regular special guests is our Tim Conway is Bill Sarton. But we have another guest.
Uh-oh.
Somebody who's been
Harvey Korman.
Yeah, well, yeah, Harvey Korman. Our Harvey Korman. Yeah, no, he's our Lyle Wagner here. We got somebody from the comments, Josh Kemp. Hey, Josh.
What's up, everybody?
Hey. Of course, since you're the new guy, you get 3 questions. I don't know if you've got to see it yet, but he gets the 3 questions. They are, I want to get you all of them all at once. Who are you? What do you do? And how the hell did you get suckered into this show?
Sometimes I don't even know who the hell I am. So,
The club.
That's too hard of a question.
Just say I'm Josh, Alabama. What was the second question?
Who are you? What do you do? And what the hell did you get suckered into this show?
What I do weather.
Okay.
Bill and the rest of y'all suckered me into this. So.
Oh, okay. And
Don't blame me for this train wreck. I had nothing to do with it. I just got here.
Yeah. And Michaela, I was sort of surprised. I jumped in and there's John and Josh sitting there and I'm like, oh hell, y'all are early.
Hey, you know.
Yeah.
What can we say? Quarter till we kind of show up in the green room and it's not the same green room, but it's a different green room, but they're all infinitely connected there in the in green room space. So
Christian says the legend of the traveling TARDIS, also known as Christian Basil, the great Christian Basil, by the way. Stupid o'clock, he can smell the preparation H all the way across the room.
No, that's just my beer.
Yeah. And Michaela is mocking us. And we've got Ryan Permisson. Hey, Ryan.
Hey, Ryan.
And he's bragging on Bill's great artwork. I'll tell you.
Who wouldn't?
from what I've seen of Bill's artwork on Facebook, Bill should have been an animator for cartoons in the 70s. I mean, he has them nailed.
Mhm.
This ain't the 70s?
Well, it kind of is, but you got to use a TARDIS to get back.
What do you think I use?
Mhm.
This girl right here does it all for me.
Oh, well, she could do it all for me, too.
Yeah.
She does it all for a lot of people.
And of course, we got to go. I got to bring up Lewis. Center screen, Lewis. We got to hear it. We don't throw any spoilers, but we got to have the movie review.
Oh, got to have the movie review.
I tell you, I went and saw Black Widow on Thursday. That's why I wasn't here. It is really good. Now, my wife, who's not a big superhero, Marvel Universe, DC comic fan, she loved it. She liked it better than Thor, and she's got a thing for the Norse god, you know?
Okay.
It had a lot of humor. And of course, in it, we see Black Widow's backstory. We see her as a child with her little sister, but of course, it's not really her little sister. We learn later on in the movie there's a special relationship and a special circumstance around their family unit. And of course, the guy that played the sheriff in Stranger Things plays the dad, and Rachel Weisz plays the mom in this nuclear family. So we learn a lot about Black Widow's background and how she got to be where she was. And that helped me out a lot because I liked the Scarlett Johansson character from the Avengers movies, but didn't really know what her deal was because I had never followed her in the comic books. So you get that, and you get a lot of humor as they're grown up. The little sister is busting the chops of the Avenger Black Widow by saying, "What's this?" You know, mocking how whenever she lands from a jump or something, she always whips her hair back.
Yeah.
You're posing. You're a poser.
Yeah. And the comment made when
gag.
And the comment made when she did it was even funnier.
Yeah.
I actually saw it through Disney Plus, but
okay.
The placement of the end credit was my only beef.
Yeah. But, you know, you come to expect that with Marvel.
Yeah, well, I knew it, but
now in the beginning of the movie, the young Black Widow, the young Natasha, was played by an actress, and my wife said, "Well, you know, I can see that she's supposed to be Scarlett Johansson's younger self." She says, "But it looks like Mila Jovovich."
Yeah,
it was Mila Jovovich's daughter playing the young Natasha.
Oh, how precious!
I know, man, and she's good.
If you've ever seen pictures of the two of them side by side, it looks like it's cloning. That is not a daughter; that is a clone.
Yeah, and of course, in the beginning of the movie, I guess it's around 1990 or something, and the young Natasha has the punked out hair and all that, and even she looked just like Mila from Fifth Element.
Yeah.
So
multipass.
Now,
Lulu Dallas multipass.
Okay. The thing about the end of Stranger Things, didn't the sheriff get kidnapped by Russians?
Believe it or not, I only made it through half of season 2 on Stranger Things.
Oh, okay.
I lost interest in it.
Lost interest in it?
Yeah.
I have seen all the way through, but I'm not going to spoil it.
Well, the first season was incredible.
Respectable.
I haven't either, so thanks, Skunk.
Okay. Well, the thing is, the timeline still lines up as the Stranger Things. He could still be the sheriff from Stranger Things.
How would that work with him being Russian?
Picked up the accent.
And that was another thing, is him playing the Russian Captain America, the red,
Yeah.
Red
red,
Guardian.
red
Guardian.
Yeah, that was funny.
I can't wait till it comes out on DVD so I can actually see it.
Yeah,
Since we don't have TV here.
DVD.
Yeah, really.
I had a client ask me to burn something to a DVD. I'm like,
What? Oh, what?
what are these letters you're throwing at me? You know?
Hey.
On a thumb drive. Well, she wants it to where she can show it on a projector at a presentation. And I'm like, your projector doesn't have a USB? How about a laptop? Can you hook a laptop to it? I just like the ease of putting a DVD in a player.
I've got lots of
I got to
antiques
retrain
around
myself
the
how to burn a
house.
DVD. I've like forgotten how to do that crap.
I don't even know if this computer has the capacity to do that. I mean, I don't know if the program's there.
And my Mac both can burn DVDs, and the Mac can burn a Blu-ray. So,
well, my new computer doesn't even have a ROM drive.
Mine doesn't either. This one that I'm using right now.
A lot of laptops are being made without optical drives.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, this is a workstation, so it only has ports. It doesn't have anything built in except the hard drive, the RAM, and about a dozen different ports for different things.
Hey, Lewis.
Uh-huh.
Ever Anderson is Mila Jovovich's daughter.
Yeah, that's her.
Her dad is Paul Anderson.
Okay.
That name sounds familiar, but I'm thinking of a science fiction writer who pronounced his name differently.
Mila up, you know. She's badass.
And I popped this up earlier, but Brian K. Morris from the Rising Tide Publications and the Rising Tide Broadcast Network got the first comment in on YouTube, and he is at Imaginarium in Louisville, Kentucky.
Oh, yeah.
So he's probably watching us from the hotel room. Hi, Cookie.
Hashtag bring Cookie home.
Yeah, you better bring Cookie home. Don't leave her in Louisville.
Not that economized.
Hey, Louisville has a couple of really big shopping malls. Leave her in Louisville with the credit card.
Cookie, if you get left behind, call my Aunt Mary. She'll come pick you up. She lives right there.
Oh. What?
Brian,
All right,
since you
gentlemen,
were-
we got a lot of comments from a lot of people here, Joe. Cycle through some of those.
Keisha Acuff says, hello, wonderful people. And Ryan Permission says he's got a time machine built out of a DeLorean, and all you got to do is just ask to borrow it.
And you can't.
And Paul Anderson directed the Resident Evil movies and Mortal Kombat, the good 1996 one. And Cookie says, back to us. Back to us.
Oh.
As you can tell, Lewis, I'd never make a good news reader.
Really?
It kind of would require a grasp of the English language.
It would help.
Not getting your tongue in front of your eye teeth so you can't see what you're saying.
Yeah.
First of all, you got to get a cool name, Joe, like Stone Phillips or something like that.
Rock Flathead.
That makes you sound like something you'd catch with a minnow or something.
Sounds like catfish.
Yeah.
Rock Flathead. You know that is soon to be a character name in one of Brian's or Michaela's book.
Oh, believe me, Ted was going off on something that we riffed on in the green room, and there is going to be a green room based comic book. Much to the embarrassment of everybody that was in the green room at the time, he's going to have no mercy on any of us. And I shudder to think what my character might turn out to be, but hopefully he'll forget I exist, and that won't happen. But There are many, many more interesting people in the green room than myself.
And Keisha is saying yes.
Yeah, she were there.
Yeah, Lewis muted his mic because he's playing with his what is it called? Vocal assistant.
Yeah.
Now guess
the lights. The lights were a little bright behind me. So
There are only one light.
No, there's 4.
there are 4.
Not from where I'm sitting.
Lewis,
Kimasabi.
Yes.
my Amazon assistant has been talking to my Google assistant.
Oh, they're in cahoots.
Oh
Actually,
my goodness.
I've seen this movie.
Hey Google, what's my name?
Your name is Dumbass.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
we'll go with that. Oh, this
You know
is
how
not the
Google
green room. I
listens-
shouldn't do that sort of thing.
You know how Google listens to everything you say? Apparently yours is paying attention.
Yep.
So at least paying attention to Donna.
Oh heavens! I hate to hear what the dogs have been calling you. Not Mama is probably the most generous thing they would probably say.
Not the mama.
Uh-huh.
Oh, and Christian and Keisha are talking.
Lord, yeah.
She says, "I know what my character is," and Christian says, "Keisha's last name is A Cup, not A Cup."
Oh,
Well, if you're not blind, that would be obvious.
Yeah. And Michaela's going, "Oh, Christian." Of course, now we got to get Christian up out of the floor, and he's going to have to clean the mess up by himself.
Really? Shut up, Christian.
yeah.
Oh my goodness, we're borrowing from other shows now.
Yep. Oh.
How about them Russian tanks?
Yeah.
Oh, Joe, I wanted to ask, how long is the service life of the helicopter on Mars? Isn't it already well past what they expected it to do?
It's well past. It has completed its longest flight over 600 meters, found a spot to land, and is now waiting for Perseverance to catch up.
That can take a while. The rover is rather not a DeLorean, shall we say?
And since you brought up spacey stuff, tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern, Armchair Rocket Science will be covering the Virgin Galactic flight.
They're going to send Branson into space.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they're going to bring him back, but
Well, hey,
try to bring him back.
Yeah, I like Richard Branson.
I do too. It's the other guy that I'm not really fond
Yeah,
of.
Bezos.
Yeah.
Yeah, Richard Branson.
Star
Wasn't he
Wars.
one of the Statler brothers? Or
Elvira.
Are you kidding? Missouri named a town after him.
yeah.
No, I think he was named after the town.
Maybe they're sending Branson, Missouri up into space.
One can only
No,
hope.
this is not cities in flight.
And we don't know who
thing is
Facebook's user
Bezos-
is.
Well, the thing is, Bezos and Branson are making this big deal. We're gonna go up in space, and Elon is like,
Been there, done that.
Yeah,
And
Now, Elon has not been up, though.
Oh yeah, he's not.
that we know of.
he doesn't have to showboat.
Personally, I'm going to start a nasty fan theory right here. I think Elon Musk died several years ago, and that spacesuit they sent up in the Tesla Roadster is actually Elon Musk, and they've got some imposter playing him now.
Paul McCartney.
So Elon got to space before Bezos and Branson, and they said it's Crystal. Yeah. If you would, Crystal, go to StreamYard.com/Facebook and grant them permission. That way, your name will show up.
Let's see the SLS. That's Boeing, right?
No, SLS is a
No.
lot of people. It's a NASA contract.
It's a NASA. Yeah.
Now
Well, there's
Boeing is
50,000
making
people
the
involved with that.
Orion capsule that's going to go on top of the SLS.
Yeah.
Good night, Keisha.
If
Good night,
Hey,
Keisha.
Keisha.
it's supposed to be a Boeing capsule, the way things are going, it'll probably wind up being an Airbus capsule.
Yeah, if they don't straighten up their act, man.
I was about to say, hey, we got Airbus and Mobile. So.
Boeing
Hey, well.
Boeing is not the company it used to be. They used to actually
No,
pay
not even
attention to what they
close.
were doing.
No.
Yeah.
Well,
They used to lead the field, man, and Airbus just like zipped right past them.
Like an old platoon sergeant of mine used to say, you cannot sit on your laurels. Needless to say, stupid specialist me had to ask him, what the hell's a laurel?
They just kept building the same stuff off the same airframe. I mean,
Yeah,
mhm.
and getting sloppy about it too.
The last
And
decent
taking
Boeing
too
ever
damn
did was
long.
a 747. So
yeah.
Well, they're behind on every contract they've got
since the 747.
and over budget.
Since the 747.
Yeah.
Yeah.
747 was the best thing Boeing ever put together.
Oh yeah.
Well,
It was brilliant.
commercially.
If you ever see any of the documentaries, read any stories about it, it was a brilliantly designed aircraft.
Yeah. And they peaked. It's been downhill since.
Well, the 737 fiasco, they said if they'd made the landing gear 3 inches taller, they wouldn't have had all the hassles with it.
Okay,
Damn
you know the story on the
accountants.
737s. Okay. Simple plane, 2 engines, real easy. And it's been a big plane since the late 1960s. Okay. They keep adding it. Well, they wanted to add bigger, more fuel-efficient engines. The only problem is they're underwing engines. So you can only put so big an engine before it starts dragging the ground. So what they've done is they've moved the engine nacelles forward. They made longer struts for it. By moving them forward, they can put bigger engines out there. The only problem is
More
totally
drag.
unbalance the aircraft.
Yeah, I started to say, did that ruin the aerodynamics
It
of the
does. But of
design?
course, they've
It
made the
changed the-
aircraft bigger
Made
too.
it nose heavy.
It changed the center of gravity.
They changed the center of gravity, and they've added some more fuselage to make up for it, basically, and so a lot of computers. And that's what killed the last 2 planes that went down. It's too much computer, not enough airplane.
And they're using crappy engines too. Hyatt and Whitney.
No, I think they're using Rolls Royce now.
Oh, okay.
The
Well,
big-
Pratt
the-
Whitney
the
used to
Max
be really
seven-
good, but
737 800 Max or whatever. I think
But,
it was using that new Rolls Royce or
Yeah, yes, right. The 777s.
not that Pratt and Whitney makes a bad aircraft engine. They just need to stick with smaller aircraft.
Yeah.
or revamp their designs to cope with the larger aircraft. I don't think that's beyond their capability. It might be beyond what their accountants want them to do.
You know, I'm trying to remember who it was. One of the engine companies had a proposal for the B-52 bomber, which, for those of you who know, that thing has 8 engines.
Yeah.
But they're double nacelle engines.
4 double nacelles. Yeah.
There's 4 nacelles, but 2 engines in each one.
Right.
Somebody came up with this idea of putting a really big Pratt and Whitney engine, and instead of having 8 engines, have 4 really big engines. And the Air Force said, "Who? Pratt and Whitney. We'll stick with those old 8 engines we used to have on it.
We'll stick with the Fords.
We'll pass." Yeah.
We can drop a couple engines and still fly.
Have you ever heard the story about the wings on the B-52? If you're sitting in it going down the road, or going
Going down the runway?
Flap.
No, in the air.
Flapping.
It's flapping.
Yep.
As much as a 4 to 5 foot deflection at the wingtips.
A lot of big aircraft do that with the big wings.
I imagine that's rather disconcerting if you're in a passenger seat somewhere and have a window to look out of. But
well, if you're in a passenger seat on a B-52, you got the wrong job.
Yeah.
either that or you're a congressman.
Now, my ROTC colonel was a navigator on a B-52. He said the first time the pilot called him up, he says, "Hey, check out that wingtip." He said he about freaked out. He didn't know they flapped that much.
They flap so much they actually have to put little wheels
Yeah.
out at the end of the wing.
Yeah.
That deploy to keep the wing from smacking the runway as they come in for landings and takeoffs.
Yep.
Oh, didn't the oh bugger.
The U-2?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking of. U2 had that also.
The
Yeah, they had that
U-2.
for a while. But interesting thing about that one is it actually dropped the wheels on takeoff.
Yeah. The wheels fell off.
The wheels fell off and it flew. And when it comes in for a landing, they actually have guys follow along in a Ford Mustang convertible. Okay. And their job is to jump out and grab one of the wings to keep it from hitting the ground.
Oh, God.
Or grab it right towards the end of the runway.
Didn't the Thunderbirds have a better solution to that?
They had a good looking woman in a open top Cadillac or something like that.
No, they had little go-karts that would go and lift elevators up to catch things like the wings, keep them from hitting the ground. And then there's the sequence from the never got made Buckaroo Banzai TV series where they actually used the jet car to replace the front landing gear of a space shuttle that had lost its landing gear somehow and was still coming down on the Mojave Desert or the Bonneville Salt Flats. I can't remember which. But you've got Buckaroo Banzai going, yeah, just put the nose right here, boys, and I'll kick in the jet car.
Now, John, do you know why they were using Ford Mustangs?
No.
You needed something fast.
No, the U-2s originally had Chevy pickups. Ford found out when the Mustang came out, they gave the Air Force the Mustangs.
Ooh, sounds about right.
And the only compensation Ford asked for was, can we get pictures?
Make them convertibles. We get somebody in the passenger seat going, ah!
Michael J. Straczynski, when he was doing the Babylon 5 series, came up with that fighter craft. They had the Star Fury, which was one of the better space fighter designs. It was one of those things that could actually work in outer space. And NASA, when they found out that he had copyrighted this design, they went and said, "Hey, we want to see about buying this design from you because we're thinking about building something based on it." He says, what would it cost me? He says, "I'll give it to you for free, but whatever NASA builds from this design, you have to call it a Star Fury."
And we haven't seen anything like that yet.
Yet.
Well, Elon's going to have to take it up for him. Shit, he's got the only thing big enough to take it up.
Maybe.
Hey, I wouldn't put it past Elon to build
big a Star
Babylon
Fury
5.
they build.
That would be exciting to have a space station 5 miles long in orbit.
Well,
yeah.
The Starship looks very, very plain. It's just a shell. When they actually put in space, the whole thing's a cowling that's going to come off, and there's going to be a battle star there.
A little bitty
one of them James Bond space lasers that opens up like a big umbrella and wipes out the Soviet Union.
That's
not.
Lewis.
We're not allowing the satellite thing that Elon.
Yeah, I know. Battlestar is way bigger than the Starship.
Well, Lewis, you said that the Starship was going to be plain, like plain Jane.
I mean, it's just stainless steel and bullet shaped. It's
not great. I do a joke and nobody
has
listens.
a very retro.
Plain Jane, yeah.
I didn't get it.
Oh, sorry. Did I miss
Jane
something?
by Starship?
Oh.
Hold on, time out, everybody.
Give
Me just a second. Give me just a second. Oh,
So this
Actually,
is why I don't.
wasn't
This
Jane
is why I don't
Biden.
want to talk lately, because I feel like my presence here is a net negative on the show.
no.
It is.
Nah.
You have always been a positive on the show, even when you rant or anything like that. So.
Yeah.
Really? What would we do without you?
Yeah. Oh, we all rant.
Well, you've had several shows without me that went well, as far as I know.
I don't know that I would
We had
grant
several shows without me that went well, as far as I know. Not that I saw them, but
Not really, actually. One of the shows that you weren't here for, John, I remember it was a complete mess, and we kept asking ourselves where you were the whole show.
Yeah, when you're gone, you're missed.
yes, I destroyed something without being here. No,
Where's Mr. Google when you need him?
no kidding.
No, Scott.
Yes, because who else is going to prove us wrong while we're still on the air?
Well, hey, it's like today. I was sitting here looking at this stupid picture behind me for my green screen. What is it? 5 out of the 8 tanks are Soviet tanks, dressed up like American tanks. Which I'm like, damn.
Well, at least they weren't, World War II German.
What? Not by much.
Not by much. Yeah. Well.
So we were talking about aircraft, and
Yes,
earlier today, our France trip in December is going to be leaving and arriving in New York. So we have to figure out how to get to New York and back. So we went ahead and booked those flights today. Oh my God. Why can't it be simpler? Just to get to New York, we're going to have to take a flight from Chattanooga with a layover at Washington Reagan, and then we'll arrive at LaGuardia.
Oh.
No, we'll arrive at LaGuardia, okay? Now, this is the day before we take off for Paris. So we're going to arrive in LaGuardia 6:19 p.m., hopefully. We'll grab a hotel, spend the night, and then get to the airport the next day to fly to Paris. When we get back from Paris, we're going to have to fly out of JFK. Now, this is the same airline. They're going to fly us back out of New York from a different airport and route us through Charlotte before we get back to Chattanooga. So just before we get to Paris, we're going to be in Chattanooga, Washington, New York, Paris. And then coming back from Paris, we're going to be Paris to New Jersey. Excuse me, New Jersey first, then New York, then, oh my God.
Hey, I was stationed in Berlin. Trust me,
confusing.
I know your heartache.
Oh man.
That is
wow.
Okay. That I love this thing. That is the original XB-52 with the B-36 in the background. But this was back when they had the pilot and co-pilot in tandem. One behind the other. Okay. Which, no offense, I think that's a much more wicked-looking aircraft than the modern B-52. But because the modern B-52 looks like a modified airliner. But,
yeah.
Well,
airliners are actually modified B-52s.
And modern airliners can't drop thousands and thousands of pounds of munitions and destroy your country.
Sure they can.
Well, have you heard what the latest estimate on the retiring of the B-52 is?
Huh.
They're working on warp day cells for the United Federation of Planets for the B-52.
2053 is the...
You are kidding me.
No.
It's a bomb truck.
That'll be 100-year life of a single aircraft?
Yes.
Wait till the C-130s get there.
Really?
We'll never get rid of the C-130. I mean, hell, we're still using the 50 caliber machine guns from World War One. I mean,
well, I mean, why would we get rid of the C-130, man? It's almost a perfect cargo aircraft.
It's a truck.
Exactly.
Really?
B-52 is a bomb truck.
Wings.
C-130 is a pickup
off from a
truck for
dirt
everything
track.
else.
Yeah.
Was it all of our refueling aircraft are based on old Boeing design? We're still using 707s to refuel other aircraft. Okay.
Well, they're using the DC-10.
Yes, the KC-9 or KC-10.
10, yeah.
KC-10. But the KC-135 is the Boeing 707.
Yeah. And then the 147 is a
It's good enough for John Travolta. It's good enough for the Air Force. That's what John Travolta has is a 707.
Has at his house.
Or the C5A still there?
Yep.
C5A, no. They've all been upgraded C5Bs.
Okay.
Really? Okay, because I took a C5A from Norfolk to Rhoda. That was uncomfortable as hell, man. Sitting in a web chair for like 12 hours.
Oh, so you were downstairs.
You were down in the cargo bay.
I was up in the cargo bay.
You were up in the passenger area and they put you in a web seat?
Yep.
Well, that's one of the things they fixed on the C5B. Everything up top is an airline chair.
Really?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, we had the pull down web seats and they were facing the rear.
The C-17s, the new one, has they have airline seats basically down sides that fold down, and then they bring in pallets that I think each pallet has 36 airline seats on it. And just bolt the pallet in place, and I think it'll hold 3 pallets. So, and it was weird. It was weird as hell to see them roll those things in there, lock them in place, and said, "Okay, first 36, let's go." I told everybody. Says,
do they strap
you
you
hear
in
something go click?
while they're mounting the pallet, or do they mount the pallet first? And
no, they mounted the pallet. They have to bolt them in place first, or something.
I was kidding. I can just imagine all these guys
sitting there, and all of a sudden you hear the door open in the back.
Plane, like if they were a Jeep or something.
We're going to drop you all out on one parachute. Really big one.
Now, I remember going to the Marietta Lockheed plant, and they were talking about the C5. The C5 at the time in the 80s could load 6 Greyhound buses, side by side, 3 deep, loaded with passengers, luggage, and fuel, and fly. That's the lift capability.
Well, we had.
I wonder why Greyhound never went to airdropped buses. That would do all those stopping these little shithole towns to change buses. That would do away with all of that. I mean, no more stops in Washington D.C. I mean, shit.
Of course, John told us the backstory of how the Army got rid of a bunch of Humvees with the C5 drop.
Oh.
They had a parachute malfunction with a lot of the older Humvees.
You mean the ones that were not up armored?
The ones that weren't up armored, they had 200,000 miles on the diesel engine, that sort of thing.
We just
they just flew over the Atlantic and accidentally opened the door. And...
No.
They were doing a mission where they went out and practiced dropping them by parachute.
And I actually had the news there filming everything.
And the parachutes just failed.
Didn't open. And you could hear the guys go, "Oh, that's not good. Oh, that's good." Boom.
You want to talk about disassembling a Humvee in a hurry? Let me tell you.
Rapid, unexpected disassembly of a Humvee. Yes.
There was a big investigation. How come those Humvee parachutes didn't open? We don't have a clue. Failure in a parachute. Failure in a parachute.
I mean, they were just dropping like rocks out of the back of it. Or one parachute would open, and when it would open, it would snap it so hard the Humvee
flip out of the pallet.
Yeah.
You got to suspect that was not unplanned.
It was one of those airborne units that doesn't get new equipment very often. Oh, hey, that's the inside of a C-17. Okay.
Oh, okay.
And,
Well, that's kind
and
of
you can
small.
see they've got the permanent seats down the side, and you can see they're not netting.
Looks
But those-
comfortable. Very
yeah.
comfortable.
Well, actually, that's the one I got to ride in was the side seat. That's kind of cool because, you know.
That looked like a couple of theaters I've seen Rocky Horror Picture Show in, actually.
You know, I'm surprised they didn't have a movie screen up here. I mean, you know, like any other decent airline. Damn you, Air Force.
Now, those,
Are you kidding? The Air Force isn't going to pay.
Those were to the cockpit, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's toward the cockpit. Yeah, cockpit's the door over there on. Let me see if I can.
To the right.
The ones on either side of the American flag.
I think. Well, I think no. Those are tables and chairs and stuff like that. I believe the access to the cockpit is right there in the center. You can see a stairwell.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because normally the cockpit's up higher than that in the cargo plane.
It is, but it's slight. If you look, you'll see a slightly to the right of that green light.
Oh, the stairway.
There's a stairwell goes.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Okay.
It just kind of looks like a cabinet from this picture.
Yeah. But, you know, spending 12, 13 hours flying in those damn things, it's not fun, man. They are so loud and they're cold.
Yeah.
Good night, Brian.
Oh, no. Do you remember you used to be able to get Mac flights out of Rhein-Main in Germany?
I used to get Mac flights all over the country, yeah.
Okay. Which, if you're trying to get home on leave, if you can get there and there just happens to be a flight going, they'll fly you home for like $10.
Yeah. Oh, we didn't have to pay at all.
I think it depends on how much baggage you've got.
Oh.
I think but basically,
I
if
never
you got
had more than a sea bag.
if you got a couple duffel bags, it's $10. That's it.
Okay.
I think that includes food. But anyway, I tried to get home on a Mac flight around Christmas. I showed up there at Rhein-Main early in the morning, and that terminal was full. Everybody and their grandma and kids was in there trying to get a Mac flight back to the U.S. So we wound up having to take an ACES flight. They had an ACES desk right there in the terminal. And it turns out ACES was a military contractor that would buy leftover plane seats over at the Frankfurt airport. That they were getting ready to send a plane back. If they had 10, 15 seats that didn't get booked, they'd sell them to the military for like $100. Yeah, I think mine was 96 or 165, something like that. But anyway, we went down there. We talked to the guy, and he says, "Yeah, I can get you on a plane." He says, "Hang on." He says, "We got to get you there though in 20 minutes." Well, if you know anything about Rhein-Main, Rhein-Main's on the south end of the airport. The Frankfurt Main airport is on the north side, so you have to take the Autobahn all the way around the airport.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Sounds like Dallas.
If you're flying on a military flight, you wear a uniform. So we all had Class A uniforms. And if you're riding on a civilian flight, you have to wear civilian clothes. You're not allowed to wear a uniform on a civilian flight coming out of Germany for terrorism reasons. They didn't want you wearing they didn't want you wearing civilian clothes. So we're in this guy's van for the ACES thing, going all the way over to Frankfurt, changing out of our Class A uniforms into civilian clothes on the Autobahn, okay, in the back of his van, stuffing all this stuff in our duffel bags, and finally get there. I get in first just because I get the least amount of baggage. I know how to travel light. All these other guys are dragging all their stuff, so I get up to the desk first, get my ticket and everything. I run to the gate and I said, "Get your tickets. I'll go hold the plane." Yeah, right.
And they believed you.
They believed me. I got there and I actually told them there's like 3 more guys coming. Please don't let anything. It turns out it's a KLM flight, Royal Dutch Airlines.
Oh, yeah.
On a 747, one of their big ones. And they're like, "No problem, we got this." And the pilot actually came down and said, "What do you mean? What do you mean, 3 more people? They're U.S. soldiers trying to get home for Christmas." He says, "Not a problem. This plane ain't going nowhere till they get here." I mean,
Cool.
thank you. Thank you, Royal Dutch. Okay. Anyway,
Yeah.
so I wait. I am literally standing in the gate so they can't pull it away from the airplane just in case. Okay. So it's like I'm not on board the airplane. I'm not in the airport. I'm in that little sky gate thing.
Pocket jetway.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You
So
don't believe
everybody
snakes crawl, huh, John?
Everybody finally gets there, and we all get in. We go in there, and they got a couple stewardesses that are trying to show us seats. And they got like, of course, it's one seat way back here. Okay, have fun. One seat way over there. Okay, one seat over here. So I went last. I let everybody get a seat first. So I went last. I said, okay, I figure I'll get the crappiest seat out of the bunch. They take me up to the front of the aircraft. Now, you know anything about a 747?
Mm-hmm.
Back in the aircraft is your economy class. Of course, they don't call it that in Royal Dutch. I think they call it Royal Dutch class. Then you go up front, and where they have business class, they call it, I don't know, Super Dutch or something like that. And then they got that big lounge thing up top.
Yeah, upstairs. Yeah.
Like that's got, hookers and pianos and all sorts of stuff like that. Okay. And like Hooters on an airplane. Well, I didn't get to go up there. Where they put me was at the very front of the economy section, right before you got to that business section up in the nose. There were no seats in front of me.
Leg room.
Leg room. I had 3 seats all to myself right there on the front of that aisle.
Wow.
You know how you have the overhead bin for your baggage?
Yeah.
I had a cabinet up against the wall over here.
Huh.
I could have put 3 double bags in that thing. I had 1 double bag.
Wow.
The movie screen was literally 10 feet in front of me on the wall. No chairs between me and the movie screen.
Hmm.
The stairs to go up to business class were over behind that cabinet I was telling you about.
Mm-hmm.
And I could hear all the hookers and everything up there in the piano bar. And but I got to say, and it was that was one of the best airlines, trips I'd ever been. But while we're traveling back to the United States, the pilot comes on and says, "For those of you who haven't heard, there was an airliner that crashed, says heading back to the United States." Says we don't know all the details, but in case you hear about it when you get back. They had that cell phone, so you could call your family and let them know. Hey, that wasn't us. Back when they had earphones in the plane. I get home. We landed in Atlanta. I take the Greyhound bus back to Chattanooga. Yeah. Get off the Greyhound bus. Get the taxi to the house. Get out of the taxi. I'm walking into my mom's house with the thing, and her husband is sitting out front. He goes, "You need to talk to your mom." What? I'd gotten a return trip ticket to leave Germany. You have to have the return ticket. They don't care how you get home. You just have to have a ticket to get home before you leave, so you can get back.
Yeah.
I walk in. First thing my mom says, "Where have you been?"
Germany.
"Why didn't you call?" Third
It was
thing out
on
of
an
her mouth.
airplane.
"Didn't you hear about the plane crash?" Pan Am flight went down. Pan Am 103 went down over Lockerbie, Scotland. My return ticket was on Pan Am. Okay, so my mom had called the airlines and was like, and it turns out she called this line where she called to find out if your family's okay. Something if a crash happens like that. I'm not sure what it's called, but she called the guy and she was talking to some guy. Says, "Ma'am, I'm happy to tell you your son was not on that flight. That's the first piece of good news I've heard since this happened."
Wow.
Yeah, so I had to put up with that my entire Christmas holiday.
Yeah.
I was about to say, my dad was in the Marine Corps. He was in Beirut when that barracks got bombed. And he switched out leave with one of his buddies that ended up being killed in that bombing. And he never let that shit go, man.
My brother was supposed to have been in that barracks, and just for some reason decided to stay on ship. the Nimitz was actually over there at the time.
Yep.
Or is that what boat your dad was on?
My dad, he was stationed over there.
Oh, he was stationed. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was the Marine barracks. They had all sorts of Marines over there as peacekeepers at the time. So
I'm gonna go
So, are you okay, Skunk?
later.
Thanks for
Good
being
night,
here.
Skunk.
We appreciate it.
Skunk.
Bye, Skunk. Nice to meet you, buddy.
You too.
we're going to have to get everybody together and find us a restaurant here in town that, well, A, Dan needs a hotel next to it so he can get drunk, pass out, stagger back to the hotel.
Me too.
I'll drink to that.
We'll have to think about that, Joe.
All I got to do is just tell the hotel that we go to, say, hey, we need a couple rooms for some of our people that are coming down for a special event.
But we need a really good restaurant. I mean, you know.
Well, there's
like,
that.
We've said Bees.
Yeah.
We've said Chef Lynn's. Okay.
And there's restaurants there in Dalton. There's
damage at Chef Lynn.
Yeah.
I bet you this bunch could do some damage at Chef Lynn.
Even without my teeth, from what I hear.
Walk in with an extra belt, you know, one of the extendo belts. You know, say, hey, we're ready.
Hey, we had a guy.
You've been here 4 hours. You go now.
Go now. You eat too much. You fat. Okay.
What the MSG could have everything. You go now.
There was a place up on 58 Highway. It's still there. I just can't remember the name of it. Just past where the old Kmart was. You know what I'm talking about, John?
I'm looking at it. Hang on a minute.
Our crew stopped there for lunch, and we had this one guy named Bill. I mean, his normal lunch was a bucket of KFC and a gallon of milk.
Why didn't you come up and say hi?
Well,
I used to work with a guy at the cable company who could go to a buffet. He could stack soup. Okay, he would get a bowl and he would ring it with shrimp. Okay, to extend the surface area of the plate, and then he would fill it up. And oh my God, I've never seen anybody get as much food on one trip to a buffet.
Well, what was funny is we went there on a Monday. We went back on Tuesday, and the lady met us at the door. Come on in, come in. No bill. No bill. No bill. Would not let him in.
Bill, you're not welcome back down this way.
Definitely got his money's worth the first day.
Yeah. He got about 2 weeks worth because she said 2 weeks, come back 2 weeks. No bill.
That's when the supply trucks come in, is in 2 weeks.
Yeah, really.
Oh.
I spent almost 5 hours in a Red Lobster one time when they had all you could eat shrimp.
I could do that myself.
Yeah, I can relate. And when my wife and I go to our favorite Chinese restaurant, it's basically get your order. Get seated, get up, go to the buffet, get your soup, come back, go get a plate full, come back, go get a second plate full, come back, sit down and eat your soup and start working on your plates. And they come back and go, y'all want another pot of tea? And we're both drinking hot tea at the time.
Wait a minute, Michaela. Bring that up. There we go. Okay. Hey, Michaela. Chef Lynn's has like everything.
Yeah, they've got American food. They've even got crawfish.
They got crawfish. They got sushi. They got Japanese food. They got American. I mean, just you name it. It's a steak. Do they still do the steak bar? I think.
Yeah.
They still do steaks and taters and all sorts of stuff like that. So.
Well, some crawfish sounds pretty good about right now.
Yeah, I'm wondering what Michaela's problem is with foreign food.
What crawfish? It isn't crawfish. See, there's not.
Michaela,
Oh shit! I just got a text. It's Michaela telling me to shut the fuck up.
Michaela, all food is foreign food. We're Americans. We stole food from every other nation on the planet.
And it's
Barbecue
good.
is pretty much ours.
Oh,
The only thing we actually
Barbecue
added
is
is butter and
pirates from the
bacon.
Caribbean.
Lewis, I found a pot for you to start start your. It's at you know where CC's Pizza is up on 153.
Yeah,
right next door to it. I call them the Chinese dollar boxes from the flea market. They've actually opened a store.
okay.
They've got a pan or a pot. It's almost 3 foot across, almost 2 feet high, for $95.
Wow. Oh my God.
Dan, are you okay?
I think Dan froze.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm not froze. I just got a text from an unnamed source.
Oh, okay.
He could tell us, but he'd have to kill us.
No, I probably had to kill myself. All right, let's just say that I have friends that fly the black flag. Okay,
Right.
and I was just offered an irresistible perk of having that sort of friend. So, I will not have to wait for the DVD. Let's just say that.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
Chef Lynn Buffet. Seafood, steak, and sushi.
Sushi.
Hey, bring it back up a second, Joe.
Hey, Dan, how close are you to Evansville?
I'm about 90 miles east of Atlanta.
Okay.
For those of you who are wondering,
not really close to Evansville at all.
That's the 74, that's the 75-24 split. So that gives you an idea how close that is.
Hey, they've updated the map.
Have they now?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's the
No,
new,
they haven't.
Yeah, that's the new map.
No, it isn't.
Yeah, it is. I think it is.
No, because to get into this lane, you have to be over here now.
Yeah.
And to get into that lane, you have to be way over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, they haven't updated it. Sort of updated. Well, wait a minute. Hey, wait a minute. Give me a second.
No, that.
Well, you can see. Remember, I was telling you to get over here, you had to be over here.
Yeah.
They're showing it uncompleted here, but it is completed. That's where you got to go.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah.
They've closed that.
So now, when you're going 75 north,
you have to be in the left lane.
You have to be in the
left lane, and you merge into the left lane rather than that right lane where everybody's trying to get over to get to.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah, where everything goes from 4 lanes to 1.
Malfunction junction.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Hang on a second. I want to check something here.
I'll be right back.
No, they're still showing the old sign.
Yeah.
So that's how you used to do it. If you wanted to go toward Nashville, you went that way. If you want to go toward Knoxville, this way. It is now back asswards.
Yeah, now to go to Chattanooga, you have to get in the right lane and then curve left. Well, that's not too old a picture.
Is the Juicy Crab open? I've never heard of that one.
Yeah, it's open.
Mm-hmm. I got the Juicy Crab in Tuscaloosa.
Is it any good?
I hadn't ate at it.
I've never heard of it, so I could not honestly tell you.
Well,
don't you hate it when the Google car gets stuck in behind all this crap?
Yeah.
Josh, are you in Southern Alabama?
Tuscaloosa is
oh, okay,
just right south.
Alabama. He's in North Alabama.
It's central, right south.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm thinking about.
You're not getting good crawfish there either.
No, yeah, I'm just
my friends in Mobile. they know good crawfish.
Now,
Oh yeah.
Crawfish
did
up
he just say the T word on my show?
Yep. Roll Tide.
Oh, Tuscaloosa, other side of
All
Birmingham.
right.
I just said that to Titletown.
No, the crawfish up here, they boil it in plain water and then they add the seasoning based on how hot you want it. And it's like, no, that's not the way to do it.
Wait, that guy. Me and Lewis are from the Gulf Coast, so we know seafood. Matter of fact, I've seriously considered driving down to Biloxi and bringing back a couple of 100 pounds of shrimp.
Well, I mean, I've got a guy that goes down.
HallowCon was during crawfish season.
Yeah, I was about to say I've got a guy that goes down there that gets when it was in season, he gets sacks of them from Bayou La Battery, brings them back up here.
That's the other side of Mobile.
Bayou La Battery. Wait a minute, isn't that where Forrest Gump's from?
It is.
That's where Bubba's from.
It's a real place.
It is a real place.
It's just the other side of It's right on the Alabama Mississippi border.
Yep.
Of Mobile.
Lewis,
if you had them cooked properly, you would know that they are delicious.
Yes. Oh yeah, they're great.
Yeah, and since Lewis will probably be stuck on the grill at HallowCon.
Thanks for volunteering, Lewis.
I don't mind.
He was voluntold. Oh, I might buy that $95 pan and tell him to get us some crawfish.
All right, Joe. There's the other one we got to bring up here.
Yeah.
Okay. Bee's Restaurant, some of the best fried chicken you'll ever eat in your damn life.
Yep.
I won't even talk about all the other stuff. Now, that's two of the restaurants we're thinking about having the stupid o'clock party at.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm trying to think of some other ones because there are some good ones. Now, I guess it doesn't have to be seafood oriented. So
no.
There's a place down there on the river right across from Joe's house if he can swim.
Boathouse?
Yeah, the boathouse.
Oh, the boathouse?
I've never been there. So.
Yeah, it's okay.
Take your wallet.
Yeah.
Dan, you ready to come back? Or are you busy?
Yeah, Dan, you're muted. We can't hear a damn thing you're saying. Okay.
And he's off screen.
No, he's still there. He's just, we can see him. They can't.
Yeah.
He's got his own damn buttons. He can bring himself back up. What are we worried about? No, he's got super control. He can bring himself on when he wants.
Yeah. Yeah. Michaela says when you grow up on welfare and what Dad brought home, you got a little sick of fish and crawfish.
Actually, you know the one I hated when I was a kid, and I didn't really hate it. It just got tiresome.
What?
Rice, milk, and sugar for breakfast.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm not big on rice.
Throw some raisins in there. You got what I grew up with.
I was just about to say throw some raisins in it. I was just about to say that.
Mm-hmm.
I might have to remember that.
It's actually pretty good. But.
Yeah, Mama used to put that in the pressure cooker, and if she didn't time things right, there was a possibility it would take a hole in the ceiling. You know, pressure cookers build up. Well, as you can tell, some pressure.
Yeah, it's the term. Yeah.
We had grits and fried mush when I was a kid. And I still eat grits, but the fried mush, my ulcers won't allow it anymore.
I've still got a imprint of a bottle cap in my ceiling from where I was pasteurizing my apple cider.
Hey, what?
Well, it beats the hell out of bullet holes.
You sure it was apple cider you was making?
Yeah.
Yeah, he actually made a pretty good apple cider.
Hard cider.
Yeah.
Now, when I was for breakfast, I would have oats and toast.
Hey, Joe.
Oatmeal.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Lewis.
I would have a bowl of oatmeal, but a stack of toast, buttered toast, and I would dip the toast in the oatmeal and eat it that way. And
oatmeal sandwiches?
No, not just dip the toast in the oatmeal and eat the oatmeal and the toast.
Yeah, toast spoons.
Yeah, basically.
Hey, Joe.
Yeah.
Up in the Bluffview Art District, there's a place called Tony's Pasta Shop.
Tony's is good. And
Tony's is good. And it's right across from Rembrandt's. And,
Well, with the parking Nazis now, I don't like going downtown.
Good.
Parking Nazis?
Chattanooga has a
public
parking
owns
problem.
Just about everything now. And
they have more parking enforcement officers than they have law enforcement in downtown Chattanooga.
Oh, that seems
you
like
can murder somebody and get away with it, but you can't park in the wrong spot.
Yeah, they shoot each other left and right, but damn if you park 5 minutes more than you paid for.
He's a gangbanger. He just shot somebody. Arrest him. I can't.
The city parking is controlled
His parking meter's still good. Yeah.
Hey, the city parking is controlled by a private corporation.
They also control waste management, which ought to tell you something about the mafia here in Chattanooga.
Some Mary Maids.
Yeah. They call it Republic to make everybody feel patriotic about it. But let's face it, they're a bunch
Well, the man's dead now, so I'm going to bring it up. At one time, the superintendent over the garbage in the city of Chattanooga was partial owner in the company that the garbage was dumped at.
That sounds about normal, yeah.
And
if you're missing any relatives and you don't know where their body wound up, I can give you a pretty good guess where their body wound up.
And, FBI was called in on it, and they didn't find any conflict of interest.
Nope. Strange enough, it's the same company that was harping about all the archaeological digs out on Moccasin Bend.
Moccasin Bend, yeah.
And it turns out they had to go out there and dig up some bodies and move them before they could let the archaeologists go in.
That presupposes they knew where those bodies were to start with.
Yep.
Hey, this guy's not an Indian; he's a Sicilian. Okay.
And let's not forget that Jimmy Hoffa's trial was here.
Yeah. Yeah, the big trial, the big Jimmy Hoffa trial was
here
6 miles from my house.
Here in Chattanooga.
Was this to see whether or not he would float in concrete or what?
I was going to say, where is that 58-gallon oil drum anyway?
Yeah.
Everybody wonders where Jimmy Hoffa is buried. I can tell you exactly where he's buried. Sequoia Nuclear Plant.
You think so?
Yep. He's somewhere in the foundation there.
That's
it was a union contracted nuclear plant.
That's the TVA, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
No, Jimmy Hoffa went through a crematorium.
I don't believe it.
Acid bath.
No, he's actually in the trunk of the Thunderbird I bought back in the 70s.
Hey, okay. Have you ever heard, Josh? Have you ever heard of, if I remember the name correctly, Mason's North Georgia Crematorium?
Oh, is that the Tri-Counties one?
Yeah.
It's not Mason.
What's the name, Lewis? I know you. Marsh.
Yeah.
Marsh, not Mason. Marsh.
Yeah, I covered that. As a matter of fact, it was Valentine's Day that all of it came down, and I had to drive the SAT truck down that little 1-lane road.
Oh God, that's a narrow ass road.
It was Tri-State Crematorium, and
we got some hinky shit going on here in Chattanooga. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah. And one of my best friends in Cleveland, Tennessee, his son was one of the victims.
Wow.
Yeah. My grandma was.
He had to bring the remains, and they said cement dust. So he has no idea where his son is.
Yeah. My grandmother is one, and fortunately, we do have human remains.
Yeah.
But we can't get them DNA tested because my mom was adopted. So we don't know if we got her remains.
All because he didn't want to spend $1,500 to fix the burner.
Yep.
Well, and then there was the point that organ harvesting is profitable.
Yeah.
No, he was just leaving
I
them
don't
laying
think
in the
that was
woods.
any part of it. It was
just
absolute laziness.
he was so busy doing drugs that he didn't want to do his job. That was plain and simple. And
But yeah, I was about to say we had one down here in it was in Birmingham that was doing about the same thing.
This guy had bodies stacked up 4 deep in a derelict hearse on his back property.
Had them stacked
they were more scattered out in the woods.
Had them hidden in the woods, and that's actually what got him. Is somebody was walking their dog out there, and the dog got loose and came back with a hand.
Came back with a hand.
Wow.
Yep.
And
I mean, this
after
was
that,
living
there was anybody with a 3-letter designation in their organization showed up out there. FBI, CIA, DEA,
EPA,
Boy Scouts of America, you name it, they were out.
Oh, the EPA went ape shit.
Yeah. They almost had to scorched earth policy the whole place because of some of the bodies were embalmed before they were sent to be cremated.
So there was literally like formaldehyde everywhere, or whatever they're using that ain't formaldehyde.
I was about to say, I was going to say that all that land was probably condemned and off limits.
What is that comedian's name? He did the original 12 Days, Redneck 12 Days of Christmas.
Jeff Foxworthy?
No, Jeff Foxworthy did a copy of it.
Oh, okay.
Shit. John, look it up.
Can't help you. Oh, fine. You're on your own. You're in charge. Go on. Okay.
Oh, crap. He used to be a regular out at the Comedy Catch.
Oh,
Bees?
Not Bees, the other one. The other country guy. Actually got a
You just said bees. That makes me want some moonshine. But
well, what don't?
Rodney Carrington?
No, this is.
I think I know who you're talking about.
Tim Wilson.
Tim Wilson, yeah.
Oh.
Tim Wilson has a song. "Crematory for Sale," and he said we were at the Comedy Catch one night, and he was talking about I got this new one, a new song. Came up with a new song. He said I got the story off the news, and he sang "Crematory for Sale," and the whole audience, instead of laughing, was like mortified because this was like a few weeks after all this shit happened, and everybody's just sitting there going, and he's
too soon.
He's like, what? What? I mean, he's like, he's performed it in a few other places and they lost their mind. And then Chattanooga, it's dead silent. And Mike Alfano come up and goes, that happened here in town. He's like, oh God.
Oh yeah.
A few years later, everybody started laughing at it, but it was like, oh God.
Yeah, it was still a little raw at that time.
Yeah.
Well, I just realized there was a serial killer that lived here in Tuscaloosa from 2000 to 2003 that confessed to killing 20 people. He's on death row in Alabama. And I didn't even know that. I was like, what the hell? I was like, huh.
Well, you heard about the one in Texas that fessed up to all of them. 2 of them were from right here.
Yeah. There's pardon me for knowing this, but
that's Dan's specialty. Tracking serial killers.
Yep, there has been in recent history about 200 to 300 uncaught serial killers across the continental U.S. and Canada.
Yeah, I believe it.
And this guy's probably responsible for a large portion of that because he traveled everywhere.
Yep.
What is that, John?
That's Tim Wilson on the John Boy and Billy Big Show.
Singing it?
Okay.
Crematorium for sale.
No.
I'll have to check that out later. I'm not in the middle of
It
one
is
of our
posted
broadcasts.
on both of the Stupid O'Clock page and group.
Yeah.
But yeah,
and it actually went out to the Rising Tide Broadcast Network too.
Oh well.
But yeah, Dan, I believe that 100%. There's probably more than that, to be honest with you.
No, this is the ones the cops have been able to identify as serial killers instead of just single random killings.
Yeah, we I think we found the topic that clears our audience.
No, we dropped down from 11 people to 1 just by talking about airplanes. Now, riddle me that one, Batman.
Speaking of that, I have a show and tell.
You found the photograph.
Yes.
Was that Cesar Romero? Oh, Burt Ward. Oh, okay.
Yeah, and he signed this to me. We were up on summer vacation and up in Rantoul, Illinois at the time. I was probably 10, 11 years old. They had a car show up there, and it was like a lot of like the Munsters coach. They had, of course, the which I never knew even existed. Sonny and Cher's, his and her Mustang convertibles. I think they were 65 Mustang convertibles and that. And of course, they had one of the 1966 Batmobiles. But the main thing is that Burt Ward was going to be there signing autograph photos, and he was actually in his Robin costume. So I get up there, and me and my brother, who was 15 months younger than me, get up there with our photographs, and I'm all fanboy, gushing and I watch you all the time, and you're just the greatest, and everything else I can embarrass myself saying. But my brother outdid me, because when it would come his time, Bert says, what's your name? And he goes, Val. Okay. And he says, well, do you got anything to say? Because my brother was being mysteriously quiet. And my brother says, yeah, I got something to tell you. And he goes, okay, what's that? And Bert, I'm sure, was thinking like he was going to gush all over like how I did. And he says, no, he goes, you have hairy legs, man. Because Bert was probably in his late 20s, maybe early 30s or whatever at the time. And of course, I about died. I was dragging my brother out of there and that. But I thought I lost this years ago, and I've been through a lot of moves. So, of course, as it always goes, when you're looking for something else, that's when you find what you were looking for 20 years ago. So this time it's framed and it's back up on the wall and that, and unfortunately I never got one from Adam West before he passed. But
well, fellas, I hate to run.
Then don't, just walk.
Yeah, I'll walk.
Don't run with scissors.
Yeah, I better not do that. I appreciate y'all letting me on here tonight.
Not a problem.
Our pleasure.
That was my fault, everybody. I apologize.
Don't ever do that again.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to tell y'all right now, you're talking about running with scissors. I never run with scissors. Okay, those last two words weren't even necessary.
Hey, if you see me running, it's because the ice cream truck didn't stop.
You need running because the fuse is lit.
If you see me running, keep up.
Yeah, because Godzilla's after him. That's about the only thing to get Joe Dog to run. Well, no. We'll not go there. We will just not go there. This isn't the green room, and I can't go there.
I will tell you, my entire HallowCon crew saw me run one time. I wish Blake was here to.
Was there money involved?
There was a lot of money involved because a pipe broke over our featured artist table in the vendor's room as someone was taking a shower.
No, the taking is not a shower.
What?
Samuel, repeat that. Hey, Samuel, repeat that. Well, fuck you then.
You said as someone was taking a shower and Sam piped in.
Yeah.
Try it again.
Must have been Julie Newmar.
No, something happened. The pipe broke over, the drain pipe broke over our featured artist table, and water started pouring down on his table. He wasn't there. He hadn't made it down to the room yet, down to the vendor's room. I broke and run to try to beat on the door to get the people to turn the shower off. The vendors actually moved everything out from under the waterfall. He didn't lose one piece of art.
Thank God.
Well, guys, y'all have a good night.
All right. Good night, Josh. We appreciate you being here. Thanks for coming.
Thank you, Josh.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all letting me in on this tonight. So,
come back anytime.
Send me a link next week. I'll join in.
Just holler.
All right. Appreciate it, y'all.
All right.
Okay, Bill.
Yes.
I'll see your Burt Ward and raise you a Dawn Wells and a Barbara Eden.
Ooh.
Not together, but these were
you just ruined my fantasy there.
These were my two childhood crushes. I got to meet Dawn Wells recently at a World of Wheels.
Yeah.
Okay. Got to interview her. And early in my days here in Chattanooga, let's see, this would have been 1992 or 3. It doesn't have the year on here, but anyway, Barbara Eden and Don Knotts were in town doing Neil Simon's Last of the Red Hot Lovers.
Oh, boy.
And I got a chance to interview each of them. And so there's Barbara Eden and Don Knotts.
Nice.
Barbara Eden was the absolute most wonderful person. I mean, she was so accommodating, and the only thing that she asked, I had the camera set up. I'm a one-man band, so I was my own reporter. I had the camera set up, and she says, "Dearie, could I ask a favor? Could you back that camera up just a little bit? I'm not as young as I used to be."
Oh.
And I said, "Miss Eden, you are more beautiful than you deserve to be." And I backed the camera up and zoomed in anyway.
4K.
We had a lovely visit. She gave me about 15, 20 minutes. And then after I was done there, then Don Knotts comes in, and I'm like, I'm in the presence of Barney Fife. And I'm trying everything that I can to be professional and talk about Last of the Red Hot Lovers and other things that he's done. I'm trying to stay away from Andy Griffith because I was working for Channel 12 at the time. We were still running Andy Griffith reruns.
What were they?
At 7 o'clock.
They still do.
Yeah, they still do.
I'm pretty sure he owns part of that station.
And so I always, I always save the question that might end an interview for last. So, for obvious reasons. And so at the end of the interview, and I said, I've really got to ask you. I know you're probably so sick of asking or answering questions about Barney Fife. He says, "Are you kidding?" He says, "Without Barney, I wouldn't have gotten to do anything." He says, "Barney started my whole career." And then he just went on and on about playing Barney Fife, and I was so relieved that
you know what movie I would have had to ask him about?
The Ghost in Mr. Chicken?
No.
The Reluctant Astronaut?
No. No Time for Sergeant.
Love God.
Oh, No Time for Sergeant.
No Time for Sergeant.
Oh, yeah. He played the nervous
corporal. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was good. I love that movie.
And that was a big act of Don Knotts prior to that. Prior to Andy Griffith or No Time for Sergeants and that. I'm trying to think. I saw him doing a stand-up on somebody's show. I can't remember if it was Jack Benny or who it was.
Well, I think he tried ventriloquism for a while.
He started out as a ventriloquist early on.
Yeah.
He tried to. The people that did Andy Griffith's show tried to get him a spinoff where he was going to be a police detective in Mount Pilot. But they actually, if you watch the older Andy Griffith show right before they went to Mayberry RFD, there were a few episodes where he was a police detective in Mount Pilot.
Yeah.
And that's where they were trying to get that. And it just, I hate to say it, it flopped miserably.
Yeah.
You were saying, Bill? I'm sorry. Bill, you were saying?
Oh, it didn't go anywhere.
No, early days, Bill.
What? I wasn't saying anything.
Oh, okay. Now
I got excited and jumped in. You were talking about the early days of the Andy Griffith show, and there was a stand-up act.
Yeah, he did. Prior to No Time for Sergeants, he did that nervous bit as a stand-up act on other shows. I couldn't remember if it was Jack Benny or what it was, but I've seen a rerun of it, and it was the exact same character that he did in No Time for Sergeants.
Now, was it Gomer Pyle loosely based on No Time for Sergeants?
Sort of, yeah.
It would have been very loosely, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, weren't there two versions of No Time for Sergeants?
Not that I'm aware of.
Not that I'm aware of. But...
Well, there was one with Andy and there was one with Barney. Was it the same one?
The same one.
Yeah, Barney was.
Okay.
He played a psychological tester.
And trying to figure out what was wrong with Andy. He was just no country boy.
Yeah.
It wasn't nothing wrong. He just country. Okay, got that. Thank you. For some reason, I had it split in two in my mind.
No, I can't remember the name of the actor that played next to Andy. Benjamin. The character's name was, I think, Benjamin, because he kept calling.
That would have been Nick Adams played Private Ben Whitledge.
Ben Whitledge. Yep.
Yeah, a little kind of scrawny guy with big black glasses.
Yeah.
Yep, there might have been another movie that stole the gag about the saluting toilets. So I don't know. It was in my mind. There is a second. there is a second movie that had that same gag with another actor doing the Andy Griffith part. So but then again, there were a lot of really obscure movies that everybody's forgotten about from the 50s and 60s. So,
well, I think Andy Griffith, the character that he portrayed, which everybody knows it was from Danny Thomas' show, but if you go back a little further, the movie that he was in, A Face in the Crowd, from 57, I think it was 56
he had
or
dramatic
57.
acting chops.
Yeah, that was Andy Griffith, or Andy Taylor to a T, and that and how he played off of Patricia Neal in that movie was just astonishing.
Oh,
and
which movie?
I still, A Face in a Crowd.
Oh,
he played a kind of a backwoods singer called Lonesome Rhodes, and then they discovered him. I think Walter Matthau was in that movie.
Is that the one where he became like the national celebrity and was affecting politics and stuff like that? And somebody shot him down right at the end, just betrayed him, left the microphone on while he was talking bad about Americans and how stupid they were, and they'd vote for anything as long as you put it to music or stuff like that.
Yeah, it was definitely a rise and fall movie. That's for sure.
Now, let me see here. I hope that didn't come out live. Wrong mouse.
Yeah, Walter Matthau was in it. Lee Remick, Anthony Franciosa. Yeah.
Tony Franciosa. God, it's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
No doubt.
He kind of disappeared after the 60s.
Burl Ives was in it.
Patricia Neal. Anthony Franciosa.
I saw a movie with Patricia Neal today.
Which one?
Breakfast at Tiffany's at the Bobby
Oh,
Stein.
wow. That was a really good movie.
Oh, did you see the little girl dressed up like Audrey Hepburn?
Yeah.
That was, well, she was the little short one. Mark Michael from Molly Maguire's, that was his wife. The little, the little petite one.
Yeah,
well,
she used to be the receptionist at Brewer Broadcasting.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was walking down the aisle in front of me, and she saw Denise and kind of remembered Denise and was like, and then she saw me and it was like, she grabbed me and hugged me, and
she is a sweetheart.
And I feel bad I could not remember her name.
Brianna.
Yep. Yeah.
And her mom used to work at GOW or there at that station. She used to be the director of First Impressions.
I guess it runs in the family.
Yep. Well, actually, her mom, something happened, and her mom went to Brewer, and then she followed her over there.
Okay.
What are you searching?
Oh, I was just looking for the clock.
Another 27 minutes.
Yes. And
I was looking up Farrah Fawcett.
Looking up Farrah Fawcett's what?
Her Wikipedia page.
Oh.
Looking up Farrah Fawcett's wiki.
Yeah.
Well, if you don't watch, you can see it right on the screen.
No, the reason I was looking up her name was in No Time for Sergeants, there was a William Fawcett in it. Corporal Stockdale or PA Stockdale.
Might have been her dad.
No relation.
Oh, okay.
But I had to check. That would have been cool.
Well, it's not that common a name, so
no.
Yeah. The reason I asked was that the movie Logan's Run will forever be indelibly burned in my mind because of Jenny Edgar. Well, yeah, Saturn III was nice as well, and it actually had a decent plot too. But
had a good cast.
Yeah, really, the whole. Well, there are one or two places where the script fell apart, but the actors did the best they could with it and saved it. So,
saved what? Which one?
Saturn III.
Saturn III.
Oh, Saturn
yeah.
I don't remember that one.
Really?
Outland was another one like that.
Outland was another one like that.
Yep.
And they had quite a few in that time that were the dystopian future type movies.
Yeah. Yeah.
Plenty of them in the 70s.
Silent Running.
Soylent
Green.
Soylent Green. Soylent Green was more 60s, though, wasn't it?
Soylent Green.
Yeah. Soylent Green was more 60s, though, wasn't it?
No.
Yeah. Soylent Green was more 60s, though, wasn't it? Yeah. Soylent Green was more 60s, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was 67 or 68, wasn't it?
I thought so. I didn't think it was the 70s because I remembered it being much earlier. But
Well,
my memory is not what it used to be.
Well, it's supposed to happen next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is true.
Soylent Green was 73.
Really?
Oh, wow. That's much later than I thought it was.
See, just like I said,
Richard Fleischer did the.
John's
Richard Fleischer was
purpose
director.
here is to make us look bad by proving us wrong.
Yep.
He does it well.
Hey, well, I don't ever claim that my memory is infallible.
Hey, I'm getting old. I have to look at it. But strange enough, one of the things is if you look at the stars that were in Soylent Green, I mean, that movie was Charlton Heston, Edward G. Robinson, Chuck Connors, Brock Peters, who played the chief. You've probably seen him in everything. Matter of fact, he was in Deep Space Nine, if I remember correctly. Let's see.
Now you're sidetracking yourself.
Well, Dick Van Patten.
Yeah.
Well, good grief! You're just about naming the cast of Planet of the Apes, too.
No kidding.
Yeah, really.
Damn dirty apes. They ate our people. So,
I love Charlton Heston's role.
Speaking of sci-fi dystopian movies, Planet of the Apes and the multiple series that came out after.
Well, hell.
Because technically, Star Wars was a dystopian future.
Yeah.
So.
I think Conquest came out the same year as Soylent Green.
Probably.
I remember right. The Conquest.
That would explain why they only had Charlton Heston in it for 2 scenes.
Yeah. He had a hell of a year that year.
Well, I think Charlton
Omega Man.
Charlton Heston's
I was about to say that.
Charlton Heston's role in the remake of Planet of the Apes was pretty damn good too.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, the 2001 version.
Yeah. Yeah. He was in the remake.
Yeah.
Oh,
the one with Marky Mark.
Yep.
In the original, wasn't
Marky Mark and the Fresh Ape Bunch?
Wasn't David Gerald one of the background apes? Or that might have been a later one, but I do remember that he was talking in one of his books about having been a guest actor in the ape makeup. So it could have been anything in the series. I just don't remember. But
I'm gonna tell you, the ape makeup was more convincing in the '68 Planet of the Apes than the 2001.
Yeah.
Well, in the movie 2001, they lost out the makeup award to a Planet of the Apes movie, and Arthur C. Clarke was known to muse. Was that because they thought we used real apes?
Oh, wake up, Joe.
Yeah, really. We need to get Rhea in here to make sure you stay awake.
That was you last night, Dan.
Oh, tell me about it. But somebody managed to sweet talk me into waking up again.
Yeah,
and wasn't that a mistake?
Yeah. Y'all ran another 2.5 hours.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you wake me up again.
You had a nap.
Yeah. Yeah, really. I do that a lot in my real life. So, Friday afternoon when I got home from work, sat down in the chair, started checking my email, and woke up about 2 hours later. And it was just about time for the green room to open. So I was wide open at the beginning, but unfortunately, wide open don't last that long at my age. So, it's like turbo boost. You can only do it for a few seconds at a time.
At your age,
then you blow the head.
It does.
Mm-hmm. Say what, Joe?
I said at your age, it does.
Mm.
Wise old man, a wise old master told me that at your age, it does.
Yes. Gonna have to have a long talk with that boy.
Who is that? I know Dan remembers. Who was it? Who said that? Who said that a lot? Come on, Bill. I know you got to know.
Say it again.
One of these days, I'm going to have a long talk with that boy.
Oh.
That's exactly where I stole it from, too.
Lewis, are you lost?
Yeah.
I know it, and I can't remember it. But I know it.
We doggies.
Yeah.
Oh, Jed and Jethro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bill, I thought of you when I saw it. Pluto TV has a Beverly Hillbillies channel that plays, and they had this one actress on there doing a bit part. I thought, damn, that looks like Julie Newmar, and it was.
Yeah. She was on there.
Very few people have ever looked like Julie Newmar.
And Sharon Tate had a recurring bit role.
Mm-hmm.
She was one of Drysdale's bank secretaries.
Right.
I was trying to remember who was Sonny Drysdale. I know he was a really, really famous comedian.
John?
I'm on it.
I could not remember his name. But he was one of those guys that played this really flamboyant character that would work well in a soap opera today. But
I know there was a baseball player named Drysdale.
Don Drysdale.
That's Don, yeah.
Yeah.
Supposedly he was Milburn Drysdale's cousin or something like that.
He was Louis Nye.
Okay, yeah, that explains why. Yeah. It doesn't explain why I forgot who he was, but it explains why I thought he was really, really famous. Because he was at the time.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Lord.
And Granny.
Yeah.
Granny.
Irene Ryan.
Yeah. I didn't know this, but she was actually almost pulling a Sophie from the Golden Girls.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, she was playing older than she was.
Much. Have you seen pictures of her when she was in her prime?
Oh, she was gorgeous.
Oh, she would have made Daisy Duke look like leftovers, you know?
Yep.
Good Lord.
Yeah, they don't build them like that no more.
It's a shame because
well, they do, but you got to pay for it.
Yeah, really. Oh my goodness.
And then hope you don't get cancer from it.
Oh no, it'd be worthwhile.
Then you get some people that look exactly like the characters and act exactly like the characters that they are, which I've got to thinking about Ellen Corby that played Grandma Walton. And of course, she was on guest stars on so many episodes of everything, including Andy Griffith's show.
Yeah.
I've seen her on a old episode of The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson from, had to have been the late 70s, mid to late 70s. And because what she was wearing was a very flashy, flowery thing there. Oh.
Yes.
That's Granny Moses.
It's amazing what rheumatism medicine will do for you.
Yep, that was Miss Daisy. Whew.
Took a dip out in a cement pond.
Oh Lord!
I love the one where they wound up getting the hippopotamus got loose from the zoo, or Mr. Drydale's, I can't remember which. And it wound up in the cement pond, and Granny thought it was a big giant pig and was going to butcher it, and had it all marked up for butchering, hog jowls. And all this.
Well, do you remember the 5 foot tall jackrabbit?
The kangaroo.
Oh,
The kangaroo. Have you ever really?
It wasn't 5 foot. It was about 7.
Have you ever really looked at a kangaroo? I mean,
not up close, but
you don't want to get too damn close. Of course, they say a kangaroo will whoop your ass till you punch it once.
Yeah, but how are you going to get close enough?
Yeah.
Something
Them
about
legs is really long.
They rock back on that tail and whack. Yeah, here's that picture of Mila Jovovich's kid in character.
Whoa.
You can definitely tell that's her daughter.
Oh, yeah.
The eyes, the cheekbone,
and
the
she's
chin.
a hell of an actress, man. She pulled it off. She was good.
I might have to watch that one again.
Well, just curious, how much did it cost extra on Disney Plus? Because I've got Plus. $30?
Yeah.
Dude, my wife and I went and saw it on an IMAX screen for $24.
I know.
$6 more, and you could have stayed at the house.
Yep.
No. Dude, even though they didn't show it in 3D, that IMAX screen you were immersed in that movie. I mean, it was
had it been in 3D, it'd have probably killed you.
Probably.
Now,
you're gonna poke your eye out.
If you've got Disney Plus, all I'm going to tell you is look for the Good, the Bart, and the Loki.
Okay.
I actually saw that.
It is. I was crying. I was laughing at it so hard. It's the Simpsons Avengers.
Okay.
The Simpson characters become the Avengers. And Tom Hiddleston is the only comes in as Loki.
Okay.
I laugh because in one scene of all the Simpson characters, somebody holds up a sign. And when you see that, if you don't bust out laughing, you ain't got a soul. Do you remember the sign, Bill?
I'm not saying a word because I don't want to spoil it.
But you've seen
Spoilers.
the sign.
Yeah.
Did you bust out laughing at it?
Oh, God.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I just found out what Heather's son is going to be training for in the Navy.
Oh, did she just post it?
Uh-huh.
What?
Fire control. I
So
ain't talking about firemen. I'm talking about
shooting
aiming
stuff.
missiles.
Yeah.
Firing control, yeah.
Yes.
Now, fire control, is that like sitting in a gun turret waiting for someone to say shoot, or is that like sitting in the CIC telling people to
Sitting in CIC telling guided missiles where to go.
Air conditioning, gotta love it.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Remind
That was one of the
them
reasons I
to
chose
swab
West.
out the gun barrels.
Now we leave those for gunners' mates and
powder explosions are nothing you want to fuck with. Or excuse me,
that's not that big a deal anymore. The big deal is when the missile doesn't actually make it out of the rack.
Yeah.
Somebody forgot to undo the latch.
Flames across the deck.
I actually used that concept in a story. Somebody disabled the safety latches so that it stayed there and then blew up.
Strange
But
enough, I think I saw that in a Star Trek episode.
It was a bad guy's missile, so.
Yeah, well, Star Trek episode. There you go.
Really? Which one?
Yeah. Generations.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
They killed Malcolm McDowell with his own missile.
Yep.
Yeah. Exactly. I probably stole it from that
He's a
and
real
didn't
asshole.
realize
He
it.
had it coming.
He killed Captain Kirk. Of course he did.
Yep.
Really?
You know,
Oh,
they actually had a company build that missile for them, and it was a real missile. And in the first scene where he launches it, and Picard winds up in the energy ribbon,
yeah,
they actually launched the missile out across the desert. Apparently, nobody bothered to tell him this thing had a little bit of range on it, because it wasn't just some movie prop; it was a missile.
Jeez.
So this thing wound up flying
did
across.
the insurance have to pay?
This thing wound up flying across a national park, landed somewhere in part of the national park, and did enough damage. I mean, it did hundreds of thousands of dollars in damage, crashing. They had to go in and clean up the site, and it had missile fuel, which it was an EPA type thing, and they got in a big hoo-hoo about that. So
they didn't check the specs of the prop.
Apparently not. No.
And then the FAA finds out. Oh, you got another one you're gonna light off?
They filmed it the first time before they launched it, and then later they went and filmed the part where they launched it. So.
Oh.
These things, they happen, unfortunately.
No, missiles accidentally crashing into a national park is not one of these things that happen. Okay.
Somebody screwed up.
Could have been worse. It could have made it to Vegas.
No one has noticed.
Somebody probably should have sold tickets.
Hey, if it did land in Vegas, we'd have never known about it.
It'd have been
and let it hit a slot machine, and then everybody would have known about it.
No, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
I know a couple of people with wedding photographs that wouldn't say that.
Let's not talk about that.
Oh, come on now. They're very proud of those wedding photographs.
Some of them.
Well, the ones that we know personally, yeah.
Some of them.
Oh, heavenly day. What do we got here? Oh, 7 minutes.
Excuse me again.
Going to lost wages.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Dan, you are set up to go.
Yes, I know. Right. Yes, I know. And actually, I've invited Bill to join me if he can stay awake longer than me, probably, because I've had a busy day.
Yeah. I ain't gonna. I'm gonna hope you actually get it started, Dan. So I'm not even gonna check on you this time.
Well, I did remember Thursday, so maybe the habit is becoming ingrained.
Yeah.
Or you'll see a big mushroom cloud.
Yeah. Measure once, click twice.
It's measure twice, cut once, cuss some, measure more. Figure out how to stretch it.
Another damn 2x4.
And then put a match to
it. Really? Oh, we've been tearing down the old cat pen out back inside the dog pen because the cats are no longer vulnerable to owls and other raptors because basically they're about the size of a cougar now. Any bird that tries to attack them is taking its life in its hands. And we're trying to clear a space so that we can put up the greenhouse, which has been sitting on a pallet for 6 months because I have not been able to get all this stuff out of the way. now that we finally know where we need to set it up, I've got loads and loads and loads of chicken wire to clip away from where it's been securely fastened for about 14 years.
Dan, I can come down with my truck and get it out of the way in about 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, what are you going to do? Drive through the backyard?
Yeah, I'll drive through the backyard, hook up to it, pull it out, pull it away. What you do with the pile after I'm gone is up to you.
Yeah, I'm trying to prevent the pile situation. I want to clip the chicken wire and leave the uprights, some of them in place. Most of them have rotted away at ground level, so when I start trying to get the well, I've already got all the baseboards off of them, so that's what did away with some of the posts being fastened to the ground. They're now just kind of sitting there about 6 inches away from the hole that I dug to put them in, and still supporting stuff because they're just sitting on the ground. And my wife is going, "You can't use those for anything anymore." I go, "Honey, it's only the part that was sticking in the ground that's rotted. The rest of it's still pretty good. Just can't be 8 feet tall anymore." Oh, okay. Facebook is telling me I have a video in a few minutes.
Hey, John.
3 minutes.
I was just looking over the trivia on Star Trek Generations.
So am I.
Malcolm McDowell is the maternal uncle of Alexander
I just saw that.
Siddig,
I was going to tell you.
who played Julian Bashir on Star Trek Deep Space Nine.
I never knew that before.
Yeah, he's his maternal grandfather.
Yeah, maternal uncle.
Maternal uncle.
Yeah. So the guy that played Dr. Bashir, Malcolm McDowell, is his mom's brother.
And strange enough, they were filming Deep Space Nine about the same time they were filming that movie. So.
I wonder if he helped him get the job. No, because
probably not.
Because Bashir made his character debut in the episode of Next Gen when Data was dreaming.
Okay.
Was he playing Dr. Bashir or was he a different character?
Dr. Bashir.
Really?
Yep.
You're right. That was a crossover. Yep.
Yeah.
I trust Joe Dog's memory better than I trust my own.
Only reason I know is because I saw it earlier today on Pluto. So it's still fresh in there. All right. Well, I guess we're going to go ahead and wrap it up.
All right.
Thank you guys all for being here. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having
us. Man, no sweat.
Yeah. And possibly not this Wednesday, but next Wednesday at 9:00, Armchair Rocket Science will start a semi-weekly show on covering happenings at Boca Chica with an on-site reporter.
Ooh.
Who that
stepping up into the big leagues?
It's a channel on YouTube called Ocean View. He's already gave us permission to use any of his videos as long as we give credit. And he will probably be, if they're not roads not closed, he may actually be at the launch site.
Cool.
That would be nice.
Especially if you're standing there when the rockets fly off.
Yeah. So, but yeah, we'll actually see shit actually arrive live as it happens.
All right.
I mean, this guy has broke news of stuff long before the other channels even know it's happened.
When Elon Musk goes, I didn't know that. That's good.
Yeah, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Before we go, Joe.
Yeah.
How many likes?
You're gonna run the end credits. All right, I'm gonna caress the duck here and
yeah.
Get away here.
Actually, there are 4.
But okay, I just see 2. Okay, now I see 3,
4.
Now
Yeah,
there's four.
there's four. There's four. Okay. Yeah, there's four. All right.
And there's a mirror in the background, so technically there's 5.
Yeah. All right.
That's a picture frame.
Yeah, we're going to wrap this up. Thanks, everybody. Let me
There
find
you
the
go,
button.
Bud. There's a
All
destroyer
right.
and a UFO.
Good night, Dan. You go ahead and start your show just right now if you want to.
Well,
All right.
I gotta hit the necessary first, so I may be a couple of minutes late.
All right. Well, I'll go ahead. I'll jump. Yeah. Have you already sent Bill the link?
Yeah,
John.
sure did.
Okay. I'll get you started, and then we'll.
Seeing that destroyer.
I'll see you over there.
The latest episode of Loki.
Yeah.
USS Eldridge makes an appearance.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. All right. Good night, y'all.
Bye.
Good.
I have slept the surly bonds of earth and danced the skies on laughter-silvered wings. Sunward I've climbed and joined the tumbling mirth of sun-split clouds and done 100 things you have not dreamed of. Wheeled and soared and swung high in the sunlit silence. Hovering there, I've chased the shouting wind along and flung my eager craft through footless halls of air. Up, up the long, delirious, burning blue, I've topped the windswept heights with easy grace, when never lark nor even eagle flew. And while with silent, lifting mind, I've trod the high, untrespassed sanctity of space, put out my hand and touched the face of God.